from slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society. Now, I think...
Brother, you can say that again. The kids who crawl out of these places are real trash. I don't want any part of them, I'm telling you.
Listen, I've lived in a slum all my life.
I mean, wait a minute.
Please, I've played in backyards that were filled with garbage. I mean, maybe you can still smell it on me.
Now, listen, Sonny.
Come on now, there's nothing personal
Oh,
about
there
this.
was something personal.
Come on, fella, he didn't mean you. Let's not be so sensitive.
This sensitivity I can understand.
Okay, look, let's stop the arguing. We're only wasting time. Look, your turn down there. Let's go.
I didn't expect a turn. I thought you were all going to try to convince me. Wasn't that the idea?
Check, that was the idea.
Oh, I forgot about that. He's right.
Well, what difference does it make? He's the one who's keeping us in here. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Oh, no, wait a minute. We decided to, do this a certain way. I think we ought to stick to that way.
Oh, stop being a kid, will ya?
What do you mean, a kid?
Well, what do you think I mean? K-I-D, kid.
What? Listen, just because I'm trying to keep this thing organized, I mean, here, you take it. You take on the responsibility. I'll keep my mouth shut, that's all.
What are you getting so hot about? Calm down, will you?
No, don't tell me to calm down. Here, you want to take the chair? Just take the chair, that's all.
Ever
See,
see
you keep
such
it
a
running.
thing?
Listen, you think it's funny or
Hey,
something?
forget it, fella. The whole thing's unimportant. Come on.
Unimportant? Well, here, you try.
No,
Go ahead,
nobody
it's
wants to change. You're doing a beautiful job. Sit down.
Yeah, you're doing great. Just
Oh.
great, fella. You stay in there and pitch, huh?
All right, let's hear from somebody.
Well, if you want me to tell you how I feel about it, it's all right with me.
Boy, I don't care what you do.
All right, I don't have anything brilliant. I only know as much as you do. According to testimony, the boy looks guilty. Maybe he is. I sat there in court for 6 days listening while the evidence built up. Everybody sounded so positive. I began to get a peculiar feeling about this trial. I mean, nothing is that positive. There are a lot of questions I'd have liked to ask. I don't know, maybe they wouldn't have meant anything, but I began to get the feeling that the defense counsel wasn't conducting a thorough enough cross-examination. I mean, he let too many things go by, little things that...
What little things? Listen, when these fellows don't ask questions, it's because they know the answers already and they figure they'll be heard.
Maybe it's also possible for a lawyer to be just plain stupid, isn't it? I mean, it's possible.
You sound like you met my brother-in-law once.
I kept putting myself in the kid's place. I'd have asked for another lawyer, I think. I mean, if I was on trial for my life, I'd want my lawyer to tear the prosecution witnesses to shreds, or at least try to. Look, there was one alleged eyewitness to this killing. Someone else claims he heard the killing, saw the boy run out afterwards, and there was a lot of circumstantial evidence. But actually, those two witnesses were the entire case for the prosecution. Supposing they're wrong.
What do you mean, supposing they're wrong? What's the point of having witnesses at all?
Could they be wrong?
What are you trying to say? Those people sat on the stand under oath.
They're only people. People make mistakes. Could they be wrong?
Well, no, I don't think so.
You know so.
Oh, come on, nobody can know a thing like that. This isn't an exact science.
That's right, it isn't.
Okay, let's get to the point. What about the switch knife they found in the old man's chest?
Wait a minute. There's some people who haven't talked yet. Shouldn't we go in order?
They'll get a chance to talk. Just be quiet a second, will you? Well, what about it? The knife this fine, upright boy admitted buying the night of the killing. Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's get it in here and look at it. I'd like to see it again, Mr. Foreman.
We all saw what it looks like. Why do we have to see it again?
The gentleman has a right to see exhibits and evidence.
Say, could you bring us the knife?
Knife?
Yeah, thank you.
The knife and the way it was bought is pretty strong evidence, don't you think?
I do.
Good. Now, suppose we take these facts one at a time. One, the boy admitted going out of the house at 8 o'clock on the night of the murder after being slapped several times by his father.
No, he didn't say slapped. He said punched. There's a difference between a slap and a punch.
After being hit several times by his father. Two, he went directly to a neighborhood junk shop where he bought one of those...
switch knives.
Switchblade knives. This wasn't what you'd call an ordinary knife. It had a very unusual carved handle and blade. The storekeeper who sold it to him said it was the only one of its kind he had ever had in stock. Three, he met some friends of his in front of a tavern about 8:45. Am I right so far?
Yes, you are.
You bet he is.
He talked with his friends for about an hour, leaving them at 9:45. During this time, they saw the switch knife. Four, they identified the death weapon in court as that very same knife. 5. He arrived home at about 10 o'clock. Now, this is where the stories offered by the state and the boy begin to diverge slightly. He claims that he went to a movie at about 11:30, returning home at 3:10 to find his father dead and himself arrested.
He also claims that the two detectives arrested him and threw him down a half a flight of stairs.
Now, what happened to the switch knife? He claims that it fell through a hole in his pocket on the way to the movie sometime between 11:30 and 3:10, and that he never saw it again. Now, there is the tale, gentlemen. I think it's quite clear that the boy never went to the movies that night. No one in the house saw him go out at 11:30. No one at the theater identified him. He couldn't even remember the names of the pictures he saw. What actually happened is this. The boy stayed home, had another fight with his father, stabbed him to death, and left the house at 10 minutes after 12. He even remembered to wipe the knife clean of fingerprints. Now, are you trying to tell me that this knife really fell through a hole in the boy's pocket? Someone picked it up off the street, went to the boy's house, and stabbed his father with it just to test its sharpness?
No, I'm just saying